Sup, you nerds? Welcome to the Loading Time Podcast. Welcome to the Loading Time Podcast, where we talk about everything: comic books, movies. What else do we talk about? Video games and everything.
Gams, some drama. If there is drama.
Yep, everything.
Any drama worth talking about?
Yep, and the drama we're talking about today is
Drama.
Not really. It's not really drama, unless you want to make it drama.
I mean, I haven't seen any of the. Because I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know all the stupid things people are saying now. You've got off Twitter now?
Yeah, I'm not on Twitter.
You've got
really?
on Twitter?
Yeah, Twitter is just nonsense.
It's just you, Elijah, now.
Yeah, I just use it for news. Like, if you're trying to argue with people, it's like it's like left is right, right is left. What can you do if you can't even agree on something? It was even something today I was agreeing with, and I was like, this thing is kind of mad. And they were like, oh, disrespectful. And it's like, oh, no, it's not. Then I said, oh, yes, it is, because the person said they meant it as disrespect. And I said, no, it didn't. And I verbatim took the quote and I posted it here and I said, see, it's cut and dry, mate. And it's like, they changed the subject and said, well, it was all right because she was meant to do it. Because I'm like, so you agree that it's disrespectful? And she said, no. I just said, okay.
That's
it. That's all it was. Okay.
Think about it. Without getting tangenty about it, you're probably just arguing with like some AI bot for you.
Probably.
No,
AI bots and that thing are mad.
Yeah, it's like someone else said, it's like before it used to be fun when you put out opinions and then you kind of get decent dialogue, but now
it's just kind of dead. It's just divisive.
Yeah, even guys are just like they're into it. They're just like, yeah, I'm good. I just use it for news because I don't know where else I would get news from other than Twitter. Because like usually like the breaking news and stuff, I get it straight from Twitter.
Right.
Because I'm a football guy, so I get a lot of I follow a lot of football related content. Sense. In terms of like engaging with these guys,
there's no point. Yeah.
Just it's never good faith, man. Go Blue
just
Sky.
Read your stuff and just move on. Yeah.
Just go Blue Sky if you're like a far right authoritarian. Just go to the sites and they're nice. Well, Twitter is crazy.
Yeah.
What are we doing today?
We are going to talk about Superman and Fantastic Four and talk about them, compare the two. But the first thing we're going to do is going to talk about the movies individually. So this is a spoiler warning. We're going straight into spoilers because we don't have much time. So first we are going to talk about Superman. What's the full name of Superman anyway?
It's
just Superman, isn't it?
I think it is just
it's just called Superman, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. I thought it had like, I don't know, some other name to it. But Superman. Superman came out a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, something like that. And it's been an interesting thing. But what we're gonna do, I'm gonna do a quick round robin of first. Don't go into detail. Just give me your score out of 10. Right. So Sean, since you're closest to my screen,
okay. See, I would give it like a 6 out of 10 personally for Superman because without going into too much detail, it was good. Like it was a really fun romp. But there are certain things about it that I was like, could this have been executed better? There's a lot of pseudoscience in here. Is this what you want from a first movie? There are lots of things that I did like. Like the acting is great. And there are some things where I was kind of like, I want more of this, but I'm not getting as much of it. And I'm getting more sort of like, otherworldly sort of just take it as I've said it kind of thing where it doesn't really have that much depth. And sort of like, that kind of stuff, which kind of reduced the score for me. But generally, like, it has promise.
Yeah. Nice. Elijah, what was you give it?
Yeah, I score all of my stuff based on how I enjoyed it personally, not whether I think it's a great movie or it makes a lot of sense and stuff. So in terms of Superman, I'll give it an 8 in terms of my enjoyment of it. I thought the dialogue was good. It felt marvelly in the sense that there's a lot of jokes when it feels where it feels like very serious moments they add a lot of levity to it, but it's just how it is because the director makes a bit of sense. He'll of course carry over from what he was doing, especially with Guardians and stuff, so I wasn't too surprised. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the action, enjoyed the dialogue, the characters were good as well. Yeah,
nice. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Mainly for similar reasons, because like I just really enjoyed that film. But I came out like that was really, really fun. A really, really fun film. similar to I know Sean, you're not really a fan of the second Suicide Squad.
No.
Not a fan of either of them, but you're not really a fan of the second one. But I really enjoyed the second one. Like I came out like that was a really fun film. So James Gunn has a style to how he creates his movies. So like you get that feeling of really, really fun stuff. So like all the other stuff that you're thinking about, you're like, it was a fun film, so I can forgive it for that. So yeah. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go into a bit more detail. So Sean, let's go into your like whole thing of like what you thought about the movie, what worked, what didn't work for you.
In fact, I'm happy to sort of even do like a bit more of a 6.5 because 6 does seem like it's like, quite low to like the mediocre, and I don't think it was mediocre. Like, if like even the Suicide Squad thing is a good example because I feel like if Suicide Squad wasn't those characters, then maybe I wouldn't actually have disliked it much. Like Suicide Squad 2 was to me was much better than Suicide Squad 1, but it's just that the way they were just trying to tell a narrative, and regardless of what the characters kind of were, they sort of made that narrative, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Whereas Superman, I felt like that wasn't the problem there. It was like all the characters I felt sort of made sense in relation to how I understood them from the comics and stuff. Like the thing that basically sort of brought it down for me was a bit more like there were a lot of things that you just had to accept had happened. The movie starts off with him sort of like, landing, into the snow and stuff. And the dog comes and takes him out, he gets repaired and he goes back. And I'm like, okay, this is all very interesting. But then as you keep watching it, you're like, shit, there's like so much that's happened, When we got to the Pocket Universe stuff, I was like, Jesus Christ, like
it's a lot.
Like there's so much stuff that's just sort of, you have to just accept that has happened. Yeah. And it was, I guess there were really big things that were also plot devices, I suppose, because it's like, we need this thing to be here, it opens up at the end and becomes this like rift thing. It feels a little bit like easily, because they made a big point, this rift made a really big point saying like, this thing that he's doing is really dangerous, that every time it opens up, there's a chance for it to be a disaster. Yet, it was happening quite a lot. And everything seemed to be fine. Even when they opened the thing and it was like going crazy, it was like, oh, we just put a few codes in and it's all good. Like it felt a little bit like there's a lot of stuff happening here that we just have to accept is either resolved or created because that's just where the story is going. So I didn't quite enjoy that as much. This was something I said that I watched on our review plan. They said basically like they didn't really quite. Much I didn't mind the scene with like the country invading another country because it had like a political element. They also said that was also quite quickly resolved. So like it's a big deal, but quite quickly resolved. Like I really enjoyed like the emotional side of the show where like Lois Lane and Clark Kent are having the argument essentially, and I was like, this is good stuff.
Yeah,
like I really engaged by that kind of stuff. Really engaged by Superman in the way he's sort of like his morality and the way he's a bit like maybe naive about how he thinks about stuff compared to the other characters. But you don't really see that much friction there about that. You see a little bit of it, and then that's it. And maybe they'll bring it up in another movie. Don't know. I sort of felt like there were certain things that they could have really like dug a bit more into that. Like obviously, same director did Guardians 3, right? And Guardians 3, like. Love that movie because all the relationships, you've seen them grow. You understand all the context around stuff. There's like emotion and stuff, and everything sort of like makes sense. And I felt like with Superman, the one emotional like dialogue that really like hit me was the one where the argument that Lois Lane and him had. You see it and you're like immediately makes sense as you see it. And even like Lex Luthor's hatred for him. I understand it because I know who Lex Luthor is. Like he's just petty. But I think that there was a lot of stuff, and I remember you saying before about how like this movie is made for fans. And I obviously went to see my girlfriend, and she was just like, "I enjoyed it, but I don't know what's going on." Is what she said.
Same
like
with my wife.
Same. Yeah.
It's just like there's little things like in there, like even the fact that what's his face? It's not Harry. What's the gingerhead guy's name again? I can't remember his name now. But the reporter.
The Green Lantern.
No. The reporter.
Why has his name just left me? Jimmy.
Yeah. Jimmy. The fact that all these girls fancy Jimmy, that's a comic thing.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's just like a thing. It's a joke. It's a running joke that Jimmy has like lots of riz. Like Jimmy just keeps getting girls all the time, which is why there's that scene in the office where all the girls are looking at him, And then why does this random girl that's Lex Luthor's girlfriend fancies himself? Like Jimmy has loads of Riz, essentially. It doesn't really make any sense why Jimmy has loads of Riz, but he does. That's something that you only get in my head if you're a comic guy. Like when Liz saw that scene, she was like, "Why are they?"
Yeah, my wife was like, "He's not. He's not attractive. I don't believe that they like him though." But I think that's part of the point of it.
But it's a comic reference. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like you'd see it and you get it because it's a comic thing. Like that's part of the point. Basically, something that you'd see like after a long time. You're like, there's a girl just fancy. Jimmy,
yeah.
You know? Even some villains. He's dated some like villains. You know, I think I can't remember her name, like Screech or something. He dated some villains as well. So it's like that kind of stuff you don't even get because of the comic stuff. The fact Lex Luthor's hatred for him is something you only really understand completely from a comic perspective. Like as a new viewer, like you just feel like, why does this guy hate him so much?
Yeah.
Like you don't know. And I do think he did a good job as Lex, to be honest. I think he did a really good job. Wasn't so sure about the crying bit at the end, but like I think he did a good job. I'll wrap up now. But essentially, like I did like it, but I just feel like there were a bunch of things in there that I would just expect it to just like accept without much. Like even the clone as well. And
that was my least favorite part of
Ultraman.
I find like Ultraman, obviously he exists he's a different kind of Superman essentially.
Yeah.
And they sort of said, well, we did all this stuff and we got all this DNA and we made this clone. To just accept it. And I feel like clones are such a lazy villain. Like so many superhero movies just do clones or someone who's got the same powers. Like as like, here's the villain. And it's like, no, it's not. I was just like, it's a bit lazy. Sure. So that was I enjoyed it, but...
Makes sense. Makes sense. Elijah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, just to touch on that whole Ultraman thing, because when you first hear his name, you're like, okay, so what? Is this from... Because I immediately thought, Crime Syndicate must be from another universe. That's how they're going to bring him in. Then I always thought to myself, why are they controlling him then?
Exactly.
Like, he was like a robot. So I was hella confused at that time. So the first time, when you first see the guy, you think, android or something. And then they say Ultraman, you're like, what? So you mean the basically evil Superman? And then when they obviously find out, no, it's not that. They're not going down that route. It's, he's a clone of Superman. So I was like, so that means there probably won't be there will be a Crime Syndicate.
I don't think they should. I don't think they should anyway.
So they won't,
very multiverse.
Yeah, that's true.
They shouldn't touch
like,
that stuff.
Yeah, it'll be like, you just copy Marvel. Fair enough. But no, I know what you say. I think the issue with the problem with this whole thing is because they've just made a DC universe just before Henry Cavill and everything. They don't want to start again and do all just so they just have to say, okay, we just have to start from. I'm not going to start from 0. Let's start from like 30, 45, and then just we'll explain as it goes along. Maybe we'll use some interviews and explain these things that kind of don't really make much sense. But yeah, I wasn't really trying to nitpick this whole thing, especially when I showed you. Remember then when I told you about that picture that says, "Look, even a child knows this. It's not real. Just accept it for what it is." It does overcomplicate things. That it feels like we're very cinema sinsy when it comes to wanting to nitpick every single. And I did this with anime for the longest, and it was just always cracking my brain. Sometimes you just gotta be like, you know what, this should over matter. You know what I mean? Like, just accept it for what it is. Don't just nitpick every single thing, looking for plot holes. You know, especially Dragon Ball Z, like, oh my god, this don't make no sense, and you just kind of pull yourself forward. Unless it's like
Dragon Ball Z,
unless it's like complete contradictions. Like, okay, episode 40 and then episode 41 contradicts each other. Then I get it. But if it's like a little minor things that they maybe could have handled a bit better, I just kind of let it slide now. So based on that, I just said, look, Superman's good. Got a lot of good, really fun characters. Like Mr. Terrific was nice. Hopefully he gets his own, like, it'll be fun if he has his own little series. Yeah, there's rumors that he might get a series. For sure, Green Lantern will get one at some point.
Jimmy also might be getting a series as well.
Really? How does that work?
I don't know.
I heard that. Yeah,
him and his chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would they do? Anyway, that'll be fun, I guess. But no, the characters obviously Lex Luthor. He just reminded me of like he's just a hater. Like it's a deal. I think he said that at the beginning.
Petty.
There's no reason I don't have. I just hate you, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And him crying, I think I get it because it's like I didn't cry because I'm going to prison. I cried because I lost to Superman.
Yeah.
That's all. So I kind of get it. That's shows the level of hatred in his heart for this guy. It's like, bro, I can't lose to you, even if it's like a pie eating contest, but I ain't losing to this guy. Do you know what I mean? You know, if we're fishing and you catch the biggest fish, bro, I can't let you do that. So it's just really fun how he's just like an absolute hater.
Yeah.
When you know this doing that scene, it's like, hey, one,
yeah. This man.
I was like, this guy is actually just a dickhead. But no, it was nice. But yeah, it was interesting how they did Lex though, because they did him like he was like a type 1 villain, just evil for evil's sake.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh, he just hates Superman, he loves everyone else. Because you remember how he's kind of abusing his girlfriend, verbally and stuff like that, throwing stuff at her. He'll drop things on the floor and then make his assistants pick up and then drop it again. Yeah. So it's just like he just hates life, bro. You know,
he's just like a megalomaniac sociopath, essentially.
Yeah. It's like you just think of those like those bankers, those directors are just like
dicks,
super absolute dickheads for no reason.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you have to do that, bro? Just chill out, you know. So I like the way they did Luthor in that sense. So it's interesting because a lot of Luthors have been. I mean, Man of Steel Luthor was just
that wasn't good.
What the hell that was.
It was like some tech, bro.
They went too far with him, unfortunately. Like he's not that manic. It's just like he's not that manic. Like he's emotional and he's angry and stuff, but he's not
a child.
He's not manic like that. That's just to me I was like, nah.
So yeah, it's very good. I can't really think of the Smallville Luthor. They're very different Lex Luthors.
Yeah.
But this one's nice. I didn't have any complaints in terms of I don't think he's a good Luthor. I just think he's a great actor. He came from Skins, you know, all them Brits, man. They keep all the people from Skins, man. I'm telling you, they've got a good discography, man. They filmography. Those Skin guys, and it's funny how a bit of a tangent, but the way they actually kind of auditioned and picked the people from Skins, like they just did it that complete. Because usually, if in acting, it's very a middle class kind of thing. So it's like people like are into money tend to be the guys that get into these things. It's never really working class. So with Skins, they expanded the auditions for working class people.
Right.
So it was a huge spectrum. So guys like Danny Kaluuya were in Skins. Obviously, Lex Luthor, the actor for Lex Luthor, Dev Patel as well. All of them ended up being big stars, and they all came from Skins. So
shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, just a bit of lore about it. But yeah, back to Superman. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it, man. Even like guys like Guy Gardner and stuff. I don't really know that.
I don't know much about it, but
I know Hal Jordan. I know, I don't really know that Guy Gardner that very well.
Apparently he's a Green Lantern. He was supposed to be Green Lantern before Hal Jordan, but the ring, Hal Jordan just happened to be closer or something like that.
Yeah.
So the ring was supposed to go to him, but I went to Hal Jordan instead or something.
I think in the comic he becomes a Red Lantern, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
But they switch colors all the time, though.
Yeah, they have a Red Lantern and so someone else became a Red Lantern. I'm thinking Injustice anyway. Yeah. No, he was fun. He was just like a little uptight kind of proud guy, and but I think Hawkgirl didn't really get that much screen, like that much about her. You know, she was okay, but I just felt like she was a bit on.
Yeah, they didn't really get much screen time, did she? No.
Yeah, I just felt like she was just there, but I don't really think of anything memorable that she did.
Yeah,
drop the really. Whole screaming at people
from the sky.
Scream and then
the dropping the president thing. Like that was the bit that I was like, oh, interesting.
She just killed the guy.
Yeah,
and then they say anything about it.
I mean,
good point.
They didn't say anything about that, which was like, oh, okay, interesting, because I'm not even against her killing him. Per se, because I'm like, I think Justice League, they probably murk some people.
Kill the president. That's almost like an international incident.
Exactly. Yeah? Like, there's like, I mean, apart from I was like, oh, maybe we wouldn't actually kill him because they didn't actually see him hit the ground. But I was like, it pretty much insinuates that he's splat. And it was like, are we not going to address that at all? Or are we just going to save it for the next movie? Is that what's happening? Okay, I don't know. I don't know. If they don't, it'd be a bit like...
you don't know the authority?
Cancelled the authority.
Oh, really? Oh, damn.
I don't think they're doing it. No, I saw it recently. I think James, they made a joke about it. I don't think the authority's coming in.
Damn,
they're thinking, Peacemaker, guys that might be in it. But I don't think they're doing it. I just saw it like an hour ago, so I don't know. But I don't think they're doing authority. They might do authority, though. It makes sense to do it. Anyway. That whole kind of civil war, is that civil war? They're evading this other country or whatever. It just felt like it came and then it went. But you know that Superman stopped in the beginning and he was scared. And another thing about Superman was quite interesting. It's like he feels like he's kind of like this benevolent monarch. Like he kind of, I don't really care about diplomacy. I'm just gonna go in there, beat the bad guys, and then leave. And it's like quite interesting when they're having that interview with Lois Lane. So you can't just go out and be this malevolent king, right? You can't just be. You're basically a good tyrant, right? You're just going in.
Yeah.
No diplomacy, no things. Just gonna say, I'm just gonna hang it up from here. You're gonna do what I say, or else I'm stronger than you. This is like an inverse of Homelander, you know. Obviously, he's not a psychopath, but it's quite interesting that they brought this dynamics. You can't just go out and handle these things. You gotta go through the proper channels. And he's like, no, all this red tape, blah blah blah.
Which is why I was like, I would like to have seen more of that sort of in the movie a bit. But
sure,
I understand probably wasn't that kind of movie.
Yeah. It'll be interesting if they expand on that. Like Superman does something that's like really messed up. Obviously, they framed. Actually, no, it wasn't even framed. It was actually true, and the actual audio of his real parents telling him to destroy the planet. That was
telling him to basically just what's his face,
be a king over these people.
Place.
Basically, yes, it was Viltrum.
Viltrumites.
They wanted to expand the Viltrum Empire.
What did you guys think of that?
I liked it personally because
I didn't realize that was what was happening. I thought it was a I thought it was a deep fake.
Carry on. When I first heard it, I was like, I bet this is real because it kind of makes sense in a way. Because why would they be? Why if they're like, oh, just go there and live peacefully and hide? And I'm like, would they really do that? Really? I don't think they will. So when I did that, I was like, this is an interesting twist. I want to see where this goes. And they didn't really do that much with it because it was sort of like some people heard it and they immediately were like, I hate Superman. And then when like I don't know what he did, when he saved them, they were like, oh yeah, we're cool now. Like it's just quite a lot of stuff where you're just like, oh, it's called plot points. You've just sort of resolved very simply.
Yeah. It's weird. It feels somewhat like how they did Goku until they retconned it. You know when Goku came in and he was supposed to take over Earth, and then he hit his head basically, and then he's now a good guy. And Raditz comes in and said, "Why didn't you take over the Earth?" And then we find out, is it either Broly, the Broly movie, or the one of Frieza, when his parents are talking to him in the tub before, in the little incubator before they're about to send him to Earth, say, "Oh yeah, be a good boy," and all of this stuff. And I'm like, they kind of made the Saiyans seem like good people, and they weren't.
They're not really.
They were warlords. Even before Frieza basically made them their slaves, they weren't seen as good people.
They weren't.
They were nationalists. They weren't. They weren't good people. They were the warlords. They just go when it's a planets, conquer them until there was a stronger conqueror that kind of enslaved them and then made him do their bidding. But then when they got like, oh, they were really nice and they just wanted him to have a good life. I'm like, no, they kind of wanted you to. But I don't know. So my point is that they could have just kept the whole Goku was supposed to be evil, but he just
it's true. But I guess it's sort of like they don't want you to be like they want to be pro Bardock, I suppose. So.
Oh, because that's the whole thing. They wanted to. People like Bardock anyway, but it's
So Superman thing, I felt like it was. I liked that was a twist because that's what it made sense to me, and I
like it. I like it.
Yeah, because I think
same.
I mean, Devin's probably going to do your turn, but like I just like basically Superman is tricky because he's just this Boy Scout, right? And he's just his powers are like hard to like gauge and yada yada yada. And you kind of you break somebody else's story by writing a story about Superman, your own story about Superman, because he's so consistent in the way things will work. And I feel like just having a little bit of people on Reddit, some people on Reddit were like saying, "Game, oh, why is Clark Kent getting angry at Lois Lane and shouting and stuff?" I was like, because he's
a human being.
He's like a normal person. Like people are like, oh, he's not capable of that. I'm like, dude, there's things that Superman are capable of that you're just.
Did you ever watch Justice League where he was like being the crap of him and just because he thought Lex Luthor was up to something, he was ruining the whole campaign.
Yeah. Like he has an ego.
Yeah.
Superman has a
bit of an ego.
And yes, he cares about life a lot and so on and so forth, but he does have an ego that sometimes supersedes. And in some universes, that ego makes him turn. So it's like he's a Boy Scout. And I like when they sort of play on that.
Yeah.
Makes him less boring.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's I like the fact that he was a flawed Superman because we've had the benevolent, like, can't do nothing wrong Superman before. We've had the Superman that is just like, why I'm like wondering whether he should be saving his dad from a tornado.
Yeah.
Like the answer is yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So this, just don't save me from this tornado. Like, wait, what's that narratively? That doesn't even
make any sense. Yeah.
Because what didn't make no sense. But I did really like the way he told the story of Superman, because it made me care. Like, from Superman can be quite a flat character, so if you know how to write him well, you have to go from an emotional point of view, and I think that he did that really well. I feel like, yeah, there was a lot going on with the film, but I think that's why I liked it.
Right, you did like liked all the random stuff.
Yeah, I loved it because, of course, like as someone that watches comic book films and stuff like that, I felt like he managed he put a lot of stuff in the film, but it didn't ruin the film. Unlike Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2, ruined the film
so
with less
people in that shit.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
Venom, Sandman,
Goblin. Amazing Spider-Man.
Goblin
wasn't Amazing Spider-Man. Goblin,
Electro.
Yeah, they put a lot of stuff in that one.
And Rhino, and it was just like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, Rhino's in there.
Rhino's just at the end. Yeah.
Well, James Gunn knew how to make every character have a point to the film to progress the story, and I felt like he did that quite well. It felt like I was watching a comic, because we know when you read a comic and you're reading it and things have happened, but you're just like, this is a comic. It's not like a manga that you have to read like chronologically to understand. You just pick up a comic from when you're interested, and that's just how it works. And it felt, James Gunn said this. He said it's more like Star Wars than anything else, because the first Star Wars film that came out, they just dropped you in the middle of a war. And it's just like the first scene is literally Princess Leia trying to run away from Darth Vader. And it's just like, oh, there's a war. It's a galactic war. What? And it's just like scrolling it. They tell you the background of the story in the text, you know. And it's like, okay, I guess I just have to deal with it. This is a world that they're in space. They're shooting, pew, 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 pew. And this thing's called Jedis. I guess I'll catch up. You know, I think, but people aren't used to that. I think people are used to being a bit spoon-fed with things. But I do understand that it's not for the casual movie watcher, because most people that we went to watch it with were confused. They were just like, who are these? Why is Lex Luthor hurting him so much? Why is Lois Lane is not I thought she was going to be the damsel in distress. And I'm just like,
that was a weird argument.
Yeah. Why is Superman saving the squirrel? And I'm just like, you guys some people, like, they just don't understand. It's at the end of the day, it's a superhero film. Don't think too deeply about it.
It's funny what the things that, I mean, because I'm trying to come up with like stuff that sort of makes sense to me, and people are complaining about him saving, like, the 2-second shots of him saving a squirrel.
Yeah, and they were asking me, like, is Lois Lane normally like that's like punky, like that? She's going around solving problems. I'm like, yes, that's what Lois Lane does. She's a very good reporter.
Into very dangerous situations,
but she gets herself
all the time.
That's what she does. That's what makes her a great reporter, you know. But it's a comic book film at the end of the day. What I really liked about the film was that it didn't feel. Two things. Okay, the main one thing is that it felt like the Iron Man of the DCU, but in a way where it's like it's dropped you into the context of the world. And then it's like you have a lot of things to look at, so that when they're doing their separate films, it's just like different branches of Superman. So like Superman is like the Big Bang, you see what I mean? And then it's like there's other stories that are coming from that, and it's like, okay, now I can go into these different directions, just like how you would with the comic. But the other thing I liked is that the Easter eggs that he put didn't feel like Marvel Easter eggs. Like Marvel Easter eggs were, at the beginning they were fun, but now they just put them in because they're just like,
they don't mean anything.
Yeah, it's just really annoying. Like they put a post-credit scene of someone that they don't use again. Like Hercules, where's he been?
Even Harry Styles. Who's
Harry Styles?
Yeah.
Why is he there? They just put post-credit scenes because it's just a tradition, but they don't really mean anything.
Yeah.
Whereas with this one, I'm so glad that, you know, he put the Easter eggs in the film. So it's just kind of like the post-credit stuff was in the film.
What happened at the end?
I'm trying to remember the
post-credit was just a fun thing. Was when he was talking to Mr. Terrific and he was saying that when he was fixing the building.
He didn't align the
align it properly.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that. I basically watched the first one with where Supergirl comes, and then I basically
that was a Supergirl. Yeah.
Then so I left because I'm like, I don't like waiting after the credits and seeing something that's irrelevant. So.
Exactly. So the other two things are irrelevant, and I like the fact that he didn't wait until the post credits to show you something. Like at the end of the film, Supergirl comes and it's like, oh, that's nice. That's a nice surprise. And she's come in, and obviously she has it's either a TV show or a movie. I think it's a TV show.
I think it's a TV show.
Yeah. But it's just like you're dropping people in, and it's like, oh, that's a cool. Like the Easter eggs there are just they don't feel so forced.
Hmm.
Even the only one that made me chuckle a lot was like the Mr. Spidlick. I think it's Mr. Spidlick. I don't know if you realized.
Who's that?
The elf, the magic elf guy.
What, did he show up?
He was the top hat.
Where was he? Was he in one of the boxes?
So when Superman and Lois are talking after Superman, everything goes to crap for him, and he's sitting in a dark room with Lois, and they're having a conversation. Yeah.
Yes.
And you remember when they're fighting this big like space squid thing, and he says, and then she's like, "Oh, should you help?" And he's like, "Nah, don't worry, it's just a multi-dimensional imp."
Yeah. Oh, that was
yeah. So that might have been Mr. Spidlick.
Right, I see. Okay.
But only a couple of us clocked.
Yeah, I didn't clock that. Okay.
The cinema was cracking up when that was happening.
Did they do that because they knew, or was it because they just found it funny?
No, they were cracking up just because it was just so funny. Like, see how them just fighting.
That Supergirl thing was funny. Yeah.
Well, it's just like they dropped them into the world where superhero stuff is normal. Whereas with Marvel stuff, they made it with Marvel films. It's like, what if superheroes were in the real world? So they had to do Iron Man, and there wasn't really anything supernatural until a certain point, and then it's only now that it's somewhat becoming normal. Whereas in the DC stuff, it's just like, well, this is just what it is. Someone's literally watching Superman fight a kaiju, and he's not even leaving. He's just staring. Yeah. It's like, this is normal to them.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So like, I just like the way he built the world, but at the same time, though, I do understand why people did not like it, because for the average person, they'll just be confused. They'll enjoy it, but they'll be like, what the hell? Why is there a green baby? And all this kind of stuff. Who's this metamorpho guy?
Yeah.
But like, I personally enjoyed that. I feel maybe it was a bit too many characters, and I think maybe there should be less characters and more character development. But that's just me nitpicking.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand. Like, I also agree with what you said, Elijah, about the whole like, we don't want to start again. Everybody know how this stuff happens.
How many times do I have to see Krypton blow up, man?
I'll get into that more with the Fantastic Four review, because I think the way they did it was better.
That's what I was going to say too, yeah.
Because, like, the problem, I mean, at the end of the day, it was a fun movie. It lays the groundwork for, like, what's to come and stuff, which is fine. And to be honest, I'm someone who's like, please don't spoon feed me content that just to catch me up. Like, save the half an hour for a build up and stuff. But the reason why I'm probably more like against it in this situation is only because there's nothing to go back to catch up on. You know? Like with the Marvel stuff, people were like, oh, I didn't understand what's going on. So have you watched all the other movies yet? No, that's why you don't know what's going on. Like, it's there for you. Yes, it's a lot of movies to catch up on, a lot of movies to watch and stuff. But if you're interested in like enjoying this movie, there's a lot of stuff you have to catch up on. That's just it. And why do I have to suffer because you haven't done your homework, kind of thing? But in this situation, it's like there's nothing to pick up. I don't expect anybody to go and read like 2,000 comics to figure out like all those references. You know what I mean? So it was very much like and also even though they were there, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm happy with this. I get it. It was like, but it doesn't really connect that well for me. I'm going to turn the light on because I'm
cool.
dark.
Nice. All right, cool. I'll use that as a stamp for the next section of the thing. So right, now that you're back, let's wrap it up on the Superman bit.
Yep.
And let's move on to Fantastic Four. So we've all watched Fantastic Four now. And it's just an interesting thing because it was as if like Superman and Fantastic Four were like kind of going head to head kind of thing. But what I'm going to do is, again, we're going to do a quick round robin. Elijah, I'm going to ask you first this time. Out of 10, what would you give Fantastic Four?
Okay, out of 10, I would give it 7.
Okay.
Worse just because Superman. Okay.
No, see, what do you mean?
You gave Superman 8?
I need to. No, I know, but I need to explain this because remember what I said before that my score is based on how much I enjoyed it, not necessarily because I think Fantastic Four is a better movie, but I just enjoyed it less than Superman. That was just it.
Okay.
Like everything kind of flowed well, made sense. It was very interesting, but I just from an enjoyment standpoint, I just found Superman more enjoyable than Fantastic Four. But Fantastic Four is a better movie, if that makes sense. First Fantastic Four was good. I like the kind of build up. I like how they explained the lore better. They did it a lot better than they did with Superman. Because remember in the beginning of Superman, you just have a bit of text and dialogue saying Superman was a baby from Krypton, comes in and he does this and does that, and now he's lost for the very first time, and that's where the movie starts, him losing for the first time. But you don't really get the kind of the context. Whereas with Fantastic Four, you get the flashbacks, the photographs, the videos of them being astronauts. Seems like they're all really smart in this movie, which is interesting. Astronauts, they go up, they get that radioactive stuff, they come back, and now they're heroes because they're doing all this nice stuff. And now it's, what is it? Is it just a couple months after?
No, it might be years after.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's a couple of years after because I remember they're saying they've been trying for a baby and it's been years and stuff, and they thought it was because of the whole radioactive stuff and whatnot. But I like that explanation a little bit better. And then they put it into their TV shows, and now they're heroes. They got the merchandise, they got the shows, they got the talk shows, blah blah blah, and it kind of moves into them being at the top and then coming down all the way down once everyone realizes to save the planet they need to sacrifice basically their son, right? And then everybody turns on them and says, "Fuck you, Fantastic Four." I like that whole bit because it's like real life, you're here and then suddenly something happens and then now everyone's trying to tear you down. So I like that little thing. Even though it's self-inflicted, they should have just kept their mouth shut.
That's funny.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, if they just, it was not the most diplomatic things to say.
I was I was like whispering, like, don't tell them. They're not gonna like
and then it. Said, I knew they were gonna say it because I saw the trailer that they said, "Oh, Gala, we have to pay too high a price." And all that stuff. But no, it was nice. Johnny Storm was interesting. He wasn't like this jock. Basically jock. Yeah. He's been a jock since Chris Evans was Johnny Storm, right? He's actually he's a really smart guy. He's just kind of, but no one takes him seriously. So it's really funny.
He's basically the dumbest one out of the four.
The dumbest one. Or the guy's stupid. Like, whatever. But he's not stupid, right?
But he's not stupid.
He learns the whole langue just through one bloody translation.
That's not
right?
dumb. Yeah.
And finds out the backstory. Even though that bit I was trying to think about, I was like, it's a bit. How do you get so much like exposition just from translation of one bit of text? Suddenly you find out where she's from and her planet got destroyed. I'm like, okay, it's a bit of a stretch. But
okay.
I like Silver Surfer. She was nice in this.
Yeah, very good.
I like the music when the bit when she's chasing them when they're going through that little. The music that's playing I really like that soundtrack. That's probably the best. I think it's the best song in the entire movie. Galactus was interesting. He didn't seem that. Apparently, lore-wise, he's super powerful, but he didn't seem that powerful.
Yeah.
He just seemed like a colossal titan to me.
Yeah.
No, the ones that is the rumbling ones, them big ass.
Yeah, they just walk.
He just felt like just walk forward. He's kind of mindless, and he's So I didn't really find him that imposing, and they were hurting him multiple times in the movie. It was really the first time when they're just punching him up, and he's like taking hits, and I'm like,
and then he's just like, you know what, I'll just bun this, and then nothing is working.
Yeah, it's like he's like a pop, not like a. Yeah, it's like a pop. He's very limited in the movie. He can't go this way unless they basically tell him to meet them there, right? That's because they're trying to lure him into that area. That's how they find him. So that's how they try and lure him there to move him to another dimension or whatever that was. Well, until first of all, Silver Surfer messes it up by breaking the all the gates around the world in like 2 seconds. Right, it goes from London to Moscow to this like 5 seconds. Breaks all of the gates. It was look, I'm saying you thought Superman didn't make sense, man. This movie don't make sense either. But
I disagree, but I will wait.
Silver Surfer was just going from London to America at light speed.
Dude, you saw her literally surf through like their light speed thing. She's fast. She's like insanely. She could do it. I was like, this makes complete sense. She literally chased them through their light speed travel.
You say that. How the hell is the Human Torch able to keep up with Silver Surfer?
She didn't. When did she keep up with?
He kept up in the beginning when it goes up, and before he holds onto the surfboard. He didn't catch up to her.
Well, he caught up to her, but she wasn't going like full speed. She was just like, "Oh, I was going to leave."
She's basically moving at the speed of light.
No, not constantly.
Should be. It should be instant transmission, bro. It should be like just.
It's not constant. Sure, if you can't move at the speed of light all the time, it'd be like, I want to get from here to here.
She was doing that when she was trying to catch the ship. She was.
I feel like it's funny how you have so much like issue with this, but no issue with
no. I'm just saying no
to close like a wormhole in it.
No. I wasn't thinking about all of that.
Do it myself.
No, the only thing
up, down, left, right, A, B, A. Let's close this.
No. The only thing that took me out of that kind of mindset was when they were talking about Baxter. I was like, how did Johnny know that? That's when I was like, okay, this.
I'm just like science, bro.
Yeah,
because Superman did the same thing, bro. Like from that broken tape, they just translated the whole thing from an alien language.
Like,
it's just comics.
Like,
it's just because
I know it was fun. I was just remember my disbelief. The only thing that made me laugh as well was when they evacuated. But I didn't care about that. That was fine. You know, when that whole evacuation bit, and people are like, how do you evacuate 10 million people from New York City into
put them under?
And I was like, bro, it's not that deep, man. It's fine.
It's not. Yeah.
But yeah, the side characters were nice. Like Mole Man was interesting. You know, when that guy was the actor that did Mole Man. You know he was going to be a comic relief kind of guy anyway, and he's quite funny.
Yeah, he always does comic relief.
He was Stingray in Cobra Kai, so you kind of knew what was going to happen there. But no, it was good. It's just I thought that the villain wasn't that intimidating to me. Just because they were whooping his ass early on, and I was just like, okay. It's like Kang, you know. Once you get beaten up by certain people, you're like, oh, you're not that.
Yeah, sure. What about you?
I really liked it. I was like,
out of 10.
I give it like an 8. I think 8.5.
Nice.
I think it's one of the better movies of the phase. Definitely up there. Because
absolutely, yeah.
One thing I was really surprised about, which is something that I didn't realize a Marvel movie could do this with me. Actually, that there wasn't actually that much action in that whole movie.
Yeah.
Like really, the action was. Like there's a chase scene, there's the bit where they're running away from the Galactus, and then there's the bit at the end. And that's really it, really. And I was like, I'm surprised that this movie entertained me so much, considering that there was actually limited action. I think all Marvel movies should have like loads of action in there and stuff. And then some action scenes are better than others. I think some action scenes are really meh, and some action scenes are like really good. So I was surprised that there wasn't that much action, and I still really enjoyed it. I sort of felt like there was an overarching message of just like family in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it almost seemed a bit more like a drama at times, because there were just certain bits, like the interaction between like you know what I'm saying about Superman, that the interaction between Lois Lane and Clark, where they're having those like emotional things. There was so much of that in this movie.
Yeah.
Like so much of it. And it was just like really kept me sort of like hooked. Like I didn't feel disengaged as I was watching it. Like that chase scene, oh my god!
that was
nice. That was nice,
just like
when she tries to grab the baby from the belly. Aye.
That chase scene was just excellent. Like the only thing I have to say about that was that really time should have moved forward for them too when they got back.
Yeah,
that's my only bugbear. But I get why they didn't do it. I'm like, fine, because
it was a year. They were out there.
They were away for a month. It was a month.
Was it just a month?
It was a month. Okay. So I was like, time should have moved forward quite. They should have been away for like a few years, really. After being close to that black hole and stuff, I was like, maybe not a few years, but longer than a month. I thought. I was like, it didn't make sense to me how they got that close. I mean, in fact, I know comics, but I was like, fine, go in, use the thing to propel yourself to light speed, cool. But the only thing I had was like, you didn't get as time dilation either. Unlikely, but sure, whatever. Comics.
They said that they would get time dilation, but it wasn't much. I guess
they said she'd be stuck in there for a month really closer. Did they say they'll get a little bit? Maybe they said
they said they'll get some time dilation in there. Maybe but they weren't specific about. Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
It feels like I think what it is, I've been listening to many science stuff, because they say things like once you travel at light speed to get somewhere, when you come back, like millions of years have gone by. But anyway, that's what the science says. But anyway, but I really liked all the characters were like just nice. like the Galactus thing is interesting actually, because I actually thought they did a good job with Galactus, because I thought that Galactus, the representation of Galactus would be really cringe.
The bar was very low.
I thought it would be so cringe. I was expecting it to be rubbish.
The last time we saw him, he was a cloud, so I think there's no way they could have got this wrong.
I mean, I was like, because it's the same way how I feel about Sentinels. Like when they finally show Sentinels, I was like, just do Prime Sentinels, because real Sentinels are cringe. In to represent in live action, I'm like, you're gonna really struggle to do this, but they did it. And I was like, you know what? Actually, the tone was good, because you can't really see until the end. You don't really see him, and then when you do see him, he's like fucking huge. And yes, there were bits where they did sort of hurt him, but ultimately they were nothing. Essentially, it was like
clever little bugs.
Yeah, the only thing that was like
Sue Storm pushed him back, man. So.
I mean, the only thing I thought about that was like, I mean, she is quite powerful, but I was like, is she that powerful? I'm like,
It depends on the writer.
Yeah, it depends on the writer. I mean, I was crazy. Like, this is impressive. It's sort of like a thing of like
everyone's done something. That's
everybody's done
crazy
something crazy.
Like
like what's his face? Storm. What am I saying? Mr. Flamon, whatever. Johnny has become like he can burn as hot as the sun.
I remember that. But
they have like feats of strength that they have all sort of done at some capacity. So it actually pushed him back. In my head, I sort of look at it as like maybe surprise for Galactus, and not something that she could like maintain personally, because like she can't beat Galactus, but can she push him a few feet? Fine, whatever. I can buy into that, sure. And like with him holding the baby thing and trying not to crush the baby, I'm like, okay, I'm not so fussed about that.
How's he gonna consume the baby? That's what I'm curious. So he's gonna eat the baby.
He's not gonna eat the baby, no.
Like Kronos.
He's not going to eat the baby. He was going to like give the baby, transfer the hunger to the baby. Essentially, is what he wanted to do, so that he could basically like, I don't know, do something else, die or something else. I don't know, not be hungry, essentially. But I liked the story. I liked the way the story went. There were parts of the story I was like, are they going to do what I think they're going to do? And then they didn't. They kept psyching me. So basically, when they're like, we're going to move the Earth, and I was like, okay. Convergence. Okay,
that's what I was. That's what I was saying to Elijah as well.
Yeah, I was like, convergence. Let's go. Let's see how they do this convergence thing. And then they didn't do it, and I was like, oh, okay. And then at one point, I was like, because what I thought the story was going to be was that they were going to have sacrificed themselves in order to save their world, but in doing so, they'd move to the main universe.
Yeah, that's what crazy incursion.
Yeah. But when they had only one left, I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's how they do it. But then they still don't do it, and I was like, huh. Okay, I don't know where this is going now. Are they basically just decided they're just going to go, not everything has to be in the main universe and something can just be completely isolated? And like in Loki or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. I don't really mind. It would make sense for like the Robert Downey Jr. Doom thing, if he even is Doom, but sure. We don't know because we didn't actually see him in the movie. So it's like
they're gonna pay millions
for
him to be.
Maybe it won't even be him. Maybe it's just a big psych. I don't know. But I felt really sort of emotionally attached to all of the characters. Like that's something that I didn't feel for Superman. Like I felt like something for every single one. Like I could buy their relationship with each other. I could buy like how they were sort of reacting when they were like pregnant and stuff, the like turmoil between like the way like Reed is, like the bit where he's like, sometimes the way you think hurts me kind of thing. And I was like, this was like a wife and his autistic husband or something, I
was going to say he's autistic.
Like it was just like, it was just so well written to me that I bought all of it apart from the time thing. Like I didn't mind like the inconsistency with the Galactus being hurt and not being hurt, whatever. I didn't really care about that. I just thought like, as a story, it worked really well. And then the sacrifice at the end as well. And I was like, oh, this is just, it's well done. I was just like, done. No notes. Well, very few notes. But essentially,
CGI baby.
I mean, CGI baby. I was like, why?
Everyone in the cinema was laughing when the CGI baby was
like,
they need to shut up. They were making so much noise.
This is why I don't like going to these cinemas. Some people make too much noise.
Making so much noise. And we told them at the post credits, everyone said, "Shut up."
Yeah, I just like don't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll end it there. So far, like I liked it. Interesting take on the 70s setting. It made it feel a little 60s. Made it feel a little bit like they've made Jetsons, that they've made sort of like they've solved all the world's problems.
Yeah,
which is another reason why I thought maybe they'd shift somewhere else because the world seemed too perfect.
Yeah, that's true.
But maybe that'll happen later. But anyway,
yeah,
your turn.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'll also give it 8 out of 10. I'd give it the same rating as Superman with a slight edge over Superman. I think if I was to reduce Superman, I'll reduce it to a 7, just because this is a better film. This is a better film, and I think it's crazy how there's so many similarities between the two of them, like in terms of like how they're created, the whole language thing, which might be a coincidence. The way that it feels like you're watching a comic book as well, like what you said about it being like a family thing. That's what Fantastic Four is. It's supposed to be like a family story of them just exploring other worlds. This is the first Fantastic Four film that they've gone to space properly.
Yeah,
and it's just like, oh, like
that's true.
They actually explored space, like for the first time in like 4 movies. So yeah, I'm so glad. The bar was very low, but like I'm glad that this was one of the better films, and I love the world that they built. Although it's like I still don't like the whole other universe idea, but it worked in this circumstance. So I think I can forgive them for it. I can forgive most things if the writing is good. Yeah. If the writing is good, I can forgive it. Like even though I hate this Tony Stark, this Robert Downey Jr. thing as Doom, if it is written well, I will forgive them.
Yeah.
Agreed. I wouldn't I'll have my preference, but I'll be like, it was a bloody good writing. So with this one, so maybe you'll do it. So this is one of my things. It's just like I would have preferred them not to be in another universe, but I feel that the writing was good enough for me to just be like, yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed them as this, and it was nice to watch without thinking about, oh, where's flipping Captain America, where's Spider-Man, it was nice to not have to think about that, because it's just in its own silo. And it allowed other things to shine. So when they showed the empty seat of Latveria, I was just like, okay, so Latveria is a thing in this thing. But there were some bits. It's overall like really good movie. Really good movie. I loved all the stuff that you guys have said. The only part that kind of like lost me a bit was the end, in terms of the MacGuffin, the baby MacGuffin. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah. I knew that the baby would be a MacGuffin from the beginning. You see what I mean?
So too.
When Sue died, I was like, "Oh, she died." Okay, but then it was predicted. I was like, "This baby's gonna bring her back."
No way.
Straight away, I was just like, once she died, I was like, "She's gonna be brought back to life, easy." But there's just little things there that I could appreciate, like a lot of the detail. As a graphic designer, I actually appreciate the designs of the film as well, the whole kind of vibe of it. Yeah, I just really, really enjoyed it. Post credits, I think the post credits were good enough.
What happened at the end of the second credits? I left after seeing.
Oh, it's just the TV show.
It's just a cartoon. The cartoon.
Yeah, cool, fine.
But the first post credit, let's talk about that actually. What did you guys think of the post credits? Did it make you feel mid credits? I would say mid credits.
I thought it was fine. Like I was like, okay, well, all it did was plant seeds in my head about what the future means, because we're all trying to discuss like how Doomsday is going to work and what's going to be the engine and so on and so forth. And it's like, okay, maybe. But it's also canon that, for some reason, Doom, really likes hanging out with Reed Richards' kids. I don't really know why.
He's the godfather of Valeria.
Yeah, but like it's canon that he's just around his kids a lot, and I'm just like, okay, sure, whatever. But I was like, of course he has to like show up sometime, because they hinted it to him, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, let's see what they do. Let's see what happens next, kind of thing. So I was fine with it. I didn't need to see Robert Downey Jr.'s face. I was just still hopeful that it's not him. But like, I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I knew they had to be doing a post-credit scene, because it's just logically it's the only movie before Doomsday, because I know Brand New Day is not going to have any kind of. I don't expect there to be any direct tie-in with Doomsday. It might just be its own standalone thing, and then they do Doomsday, because there's only 2 films before. No, there's one film before Doomsday, which is Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I knew he was going to show up in some capacity. The fact that he's probably part of that universe, which is interesting. How he gets his powers, the explanation will be interesting. In terms of story-wise, how they write Doom, they'll probably just do it like how they did Multiverse of Madness. It's just another variant. I just think that's the only way to do it.
I mean, well,
just because Robert Downey Jr. is Doom, that's it. So how
does he even have to be a variant if he's just in because variants. This was saying I was talking to someone about this a little while ago. Like variants and alternate universe are two different things because variants are timelines.
So maybe not variants. This is the doom of this.
This is just the doom of that universe. Yeah. I mean,
but then again, we don't have a doom in that. We don't have a doom in thingies outside of. Yeah, I don't know.
If his face is just burnt all the time, then maybe it'll be a thing of like we don't actually see.
Then why
Robert Downey Jr. in it?
Then you still know
maybe just because he's a good actor.
Yeah, they did it for hype. No, they did it for hype.
Whenever they ever used one character to play multiple,
they have, but no one important.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Who?
Yeah, flipping. Mahershala. Actually, no, that's Netflix. So I'm not going to say
Cottonmouth and Blade.
Cottonmouth and Blade. But like, there's also what's her name? Eternals, the main girl. She played an alien in Captain Marvel, but it wasn't like a big role. You see what I mean?
You are right. Okay.
Yeah.
They don't do it for big roles, so there must be some law significance to using Robert Downey Jr. Otherwise, what's the point of bringing
because also
you just given this to some up and coming actor?
Because that period of MCU for me is like them literally just messing up.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like at that point they were just sort of like, oh, we've had something that really, really works. Let's capitalize on it and just like monopolize on it. And they basically just dropped the ball and just started doing nonsense. Like so many movies in that period were just crap. Like so many of them were bad. And suddenly when they said, okay, let's slow it down a bit. Suddenly all the movies are getting better. When they were like, let's just slow it down and look at what we've actually created. And then they slowed it, then they made it better. And I felt like them putting Doom in there, making Robert, like announcing it like that. Like the way they announced it, was them try to basically like reinvigorate, I feel like what was going on. Like, oh shit, we're actually making crap movies now. What can we do? We can bring Robert Downey Jr., but everybody likes Robert Downey Jr. And it's like, no, you don't understand your own content. Like what are you doing? It doesn't make any sense. So to me, I feel like they did it as like a Hail Mary rather than like I could be wrong. Hey, if I'm wrong or if I'm wrong, I'll put my hand up.
I just don't think Robert Downey is a type to think, okay, we're just gonna bring you back for Bant.
For money though.
If you offered the man enough money, why wouldn't he come and do it again?
I think he said what was his thinking? He said, "Oh, there's a I don't know, maybe."
Dude, even like Hugh Jackman was like, "I'm not doing Wolverine anymore," and then
money,
then money makes you change your mind.
So they're not even bringing him back as Iron Man; they're bringing him back as Doom.
I know.
If they don't have anything other than he's just there, what's the point?
Yeah. Why don't you just use another actor if you're not going to...
Maybe.
We're not going to get no extra pair of eyes because, Robert Downey Jr. is Doom. It must have some law significance to Tony Stark.
I think you're giving them too much credit.
But otherwise, what's the point?
Maybe.
So what? Okay, so let's go back to...
Anyway,
so in the post-credits, obviously, he's taking this baby, right? The baby's 4 years old now.
Yeah.
And
taking...
Like he's next to the baby, holding the baby, right?
He's not done anything yet.
And the baby's touching his face for some reason. I'm not getting scared, right?
Then
maybe he's healing his face, to be honest.
Or maybe his face isn't scarred. I just think it's
scarred.
Do you think he's basically Franklin Richards is supposed to be the molecule man of the MCU? Do you think?
I think that would be a better way if I was going to bet. Sorry, if I was going to write the story myself as how I do it, I wouldn't introduce Molecule Man and then use him because we now have sort of like emotional attachment to the baby.
Yeah.
So it makes more sense to go that way, and also you can achieve the same thing. I think like with Franklin and with Molecule Man, they essentially like you can write the same
same
results
thing.
out of
they both do the same thing pretty much anyway.
Same thing essentially. So I think like. I mean, again, I thought they were going to something else Fantastic Four and they didn't. So I'm happy to be proven wrong. But it would make more sense if they're going to go that way, that it would go down the route of using his powers.
Yeah, but he's basically 4 years old. It's so weird.
Doesn't matter.
I thought like, what would have been a nice... no one would understand this though. But what if a good plot twist would have been if Franklin became an adult when they were fighting Galactus? Because... basically, in the comics, he turned himself into an adult and he beat up the Fantastic Four, but they didn't know it was Franklin.
Yeah, I feel like...
and then Sue had to calm him down.
I feel like...
But that would have been wild.
Yeah, it would have been really hard to... One thing I like about... What I was going to say I forgot about, but I like about this movie was that it felt... What I like, right, was when movies feel a bit grounded. even if they're like superhero movies that are just like not like obviously put your pseudoscience and all that stuff in, but I feel that it has to be grounded to a degree, and like because at the end of the day you want to watch it and not go like you don't want to be pulled out of this like journey and sort of have to think about what's happening too much.
Yeah.
Like you want to basically just be taken on this ride where you're like, you're sort of like expecting like a mystery and then you're just watching it unravel and stuff, rather than basically someone to just like throw this sort of Hail Mary at you and to go like, what? Why would this happen? You know what I mean? Like it's too. I feel like that as something that, even though it did happen in the comics and stuff, I feel like for this it's too much.
It would have been too much in it.
Yeah,
it's too much. Way too much.
Like we all sort of saw the outcome of the whole thing with Sue and stuff, and we're like, obviously, because in their head, they're like, that's a logical way for the story to go.
Yeah.
You know? But for that, I'm like, it might be too much. It thought probably about like, oh, is he going to do anything? But I was like, I really hope not, because it wouldn't make that much sense.
Yeah, baby MacGuffin.
It's been too MacGuffin, yeah.
Do you think he's going to be a mutant or not? Because they had the book, The Origin of Species.
And they go backwards and forwards on that.
Yeah, depending on the writer.
I thought because he was, and then he wasn't.
He was, and it wasn't, then it was, then it wasn't. It's just the right. Whenever it makes sense to the writer, they'll say, "Oh, actually, he's a mutant," or
right,
he's not a mutant. Actually, you know,
it would be interesting if they do make him one.
Because the next saga is the mutant saga, so
is there anyone that's actually been confirmed a mutant?
Yeah.
Other than
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, that's it.
Namor.
Yeah, of course.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Apart from everyone that's in the Deadpool's universe, but
from the entirety of the Deadpool universe.
Yeah.
So how do you distinguish between someone's superpowers and like an actual mutant? Because
you can't.
How's no, I'm saying if they were to do Franklin to be a mutant, how can he be a mutant?
Well, so like Professor Xavier can detect them with Cerebro.
Yeah.
So that's usually how they do it. I don't know how it works, but that's how he's canonically have always done it, where he finds them. He doesn't know them, but he can just predict them.
Yeah, it would make sense if Franklin's a mutant, actually, because he was born with the powers rather than it being kind of chain. Yeah.
Maybe that's why he couldn't detect the powers, because there's no mutants in that world. So like maybe it's a thing that is just
he doesn't know. Yeah. They don't know what the X gene is.
They don't know what an X gene is, or he hasn't detected any anomalies.
Maybe that'd be
maybe the X gene has
that's actually a fair point.
Activated or something.
That'd be a clever way of doing it.
Yeah, but they won't.
But then I guess they also like it's like they won't do it that way. I guess because I guess because you could say like there's that canonical thing about Franklin sort of hiding his own abilities from himself, kind of thing.
Yeah,
there's that sort of in the comics, and also with Reed being like one of the smartest person on the planet. It would be unlikely for him not to detect something like the X gene, or something. You know what I mean? Like he knows too much. It's hard to like write that kind of story with that kind of character. It's like he's basically the Superman with thinking. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So
wants to solve the problem of everything.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, they can do what they want, to be honest.
Yeah. Cool. That was a good roundup of the two films in one session. Cool. I think that's we'll leave it there. If you are interested, let us know in the comments what you thought of the film, and also that's really it. I don't know what's next actually.
Yeah, I think
nothing else is really coming out.
Yeah, I think we've watched all the movies now for now.
Yeah,
do something else.
Nice.
Yeah, cool, nice.
Maybe the TV stuff that coming up.
Yeah, TV stuff coming up. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
All right, guys. Catch you guys
later.
Peace.